So I've been looking into psychics and stuff like that and mediums because I've never actually been to a psychic or medium before. And so I was looking into this stuff, okay. And I will make a video about more about psychics and mediums, probably. I'm working on it anyway. But the weird thing that's been bugging me about it though is like I've been studying this stuff, and some of that stuff that they say that they can do or they're experiencing just sounds really familiar. Okay. And I already talked about that in this video right here. Okay. I talked about like ectoplasm and stuff like that, and I was experiencing that. Okay. Because, yeah, anyway, this stuff just sounds, it's freaking me out when I study this medium stuff. A lot of it just sounds very familiar. Okay. And I'm going to talk about in this video, I'm going to show you a few more pictures that I have. Now, again, I know these just look like normal pictures. You can just easily explain these pictures away as whatever, okay? So you can take it or leave it, but I'm going to show them to you anyway, okay? There's not anything obviously supernatural going on in these pictures, but I'm just telling you the story behind the pictures, okay? All right. Oh, and before I get into that, I wanted to, this video is not about ectoplasm too much anyway, because I already talked about it in that previous video. Okay. But totally forgot to mention that they do ectoplasm in movies. Probably the most obvious one would be the Ghostbusters, where they have that river of slime. Or Slimer. He's made of slime, but he's also like a ghost or a demon. Okay. And or even in the second Ghostbusters, I think it was, they have that river of slime, right? And that's where all the ghosts and demons come out of it. See, that's ectoplasm, but they're making it like a joke, like it's funny or something, okay? But no, I just wanted to point out that they do that in the movies, okay? Anyway, but this video is not about ectoplasm. Anyway, let me reiterate my own personal stuff, okay? I experienced ectoplasm, but this video is about something else, okay? I experienced so many different things, and these are just some of the pictures I have. They saved, even though they don't look supernatural. I'm just telling you the story behind them. Again, I had a near-death experience. Very long story short, I started seeing and hearing really terrible things after my near-death experience, okay? And these are just some pictures and the stories behind the pictures, okay? Okay, so I was seeing lots of snakes, like they were... I'm so dumb, I didn't even realize this stuff was demonic. I didn't know what was going on, okay? I just kept seeing snakes, all shapes and sizes, but they were, like, super creepy looking. They didn't look like the snakes on Earth, okay? They looked weird. They looked bent and broken and super demonic and crazy looking, okay? No, I do not have any pictures of these snakes, but I can show you the pictures of where they were biting me, okay? If you see these pictures right here, you see those 2 puncture wounds? Okay, you can see those 2 puncture wounds. They look like snake bites, right? That's because that's probably what they are. Okay, I was seeing these things, and I don't have any pictures of the snakes, but I can show you the pictures of the puncture wounds. There was puncture wounds all over my stuff. Okay, you can see them here really well. They're right there, and it was so weird. It was really this pictures was weird. Okay, because it made these things I don't know how to say it. It made my body feel like it was oozing stuff. Just like Slimer, okay? My body felt really wet and weird all the time, okay? My body was like, I don't know, it felt wet and weird, okay? It felt like there was ectoplasm coming off of my body, which is what psychics and witches say that they can do, okay? And these are a couple pictures of that. They're puncture wounds, just like a snake bite. That's this one right here. And you can see this one on my shoes, okay? Okay, they look like snake bites. That's because that's probably what they are, but it was demonic, okay? It's right here. And some of them were big. They were huge snakes. Huge. Bigger than a python. They were regular size and huge. Okay, but they looked super black and weird, okay? They were really crazy looking. Alright, that's what these are. These are snake bites. And I do have some on my body, but of course, if you just look at it, it just looks like I have pimples or something, okay? But I had some on my neck, too, okay? And this was obviously demonic and creepy, okay? In my mind, something bit me on my neck, okay? And I have the pictures of it, but of course, someone's just gonna say, oh, those are pimples or freckles or something, okay? so something that was really weird too is that sometimes they felt like they were coming from inside my body, not from the outside. You know what I mean? It felt like I was getting bit by snakes on the inside of my body, like they were in me. Okay, because this is obviously demonic and spiritual. Okay, and it's very interesting because, and I was experiencing this stuff too. This is not my picture, by the way. This is somebody else's. Okay, it reminds me of people say that when they get scratched by ghosts. Okay, they say that it feels like it's coming from outside, inside their body. Okay, sometimes it feels like, and almost, and sometimes these scratches are more like burns. Okay, it's like something they're being scratched, but they're being scratched in a weird way. It's not coming. It's coming from the inside their body. It's like demonic possession or something, right? Yeah. Okay. And I was getting scratch marks and stuff like that, but I don't have any pictures of that. I thought that I had one or two, but they're gone. I can't find them because this was happened a long time ago. This is old. These are old pictures. Okay. And again, they came in all kinds of weird shapes and sizes. They were like really small, really big. They were like all over the place. Okay, and I was pretty horrified. I was screaming and crying. And something else I really want to mention is I don't have pictures of it, but this is a story that I had because some of the people that I was hanging out with, they were experiencing these snakes too. Okay, but they were like in the spirit. Okay, you can't take a picture of them. You can't see them. We could see them for like a split second. But oh man, this is a real story. Okay, one time we saw this snake. It was huge. Okay, and it went around the window. Okay, and this thing was so creepy. It caught the curtains on fire. It barely caught it singed this thing was like so demonic and evil. You could see the burn marks it was leaving on the windowsill and on the curtains. Okay, I thought these things were gonna kill us. I thought these things were gonna totally kill us because they were really, really strong and they were literally burning and denting things. Okay, I thought that, and that's probably what they were trying to do, but they couldn't get through to our side or something, and they couldn't kill us. Okay, all right. And it's like wherever I would look, they would be there. And one of the most horrifying things I saw is one time this thing, it wrapped around my friend. And it's so creepy because I could kind of see it, but not. It was like in the spirit. Okay, and they could see it and hear it too. And it literally started burning my friend, his skin off a little bit. Just a little bit. It started burning it, just like those scratch marks. It wasn't enough to bleed. It wasn't enough to puncture through, but it was just enough where you could see it and you could see the skin coming off a little bit. It was pretty terrifying. Okay, and I was experiencing lots of poltergeist activity. My stuff would be moving around. Okay, and this is just an example that sometimes my shoes would be like in a weird line. Okay, and that's what this picture is. It's, of course, if you just look at it, it can easily be explained away. I could be lying. I could be just, my shoes would like line up and stuff. I would wake up in the morning and my shoes would be like in a line like that. They'd be all connected and tied together sometimes. It was very strange. Okay, and I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know. It's just very weird. All right. It was like these things were collecting things to manifest or something. They were trying to collect things to make shape. It's very strange. That's the only way I can even explain what was going on. Okay. And I want to keep in mind, it was really bad at my apartment, or it was a guest house. I was living in a guest house. It's a house/apartment. Okay, and that was the same house that I died in, which I think made it worse. Okay, but it was really bad at home, but this stuff would follow me even if I went somewhere else, like even at work. Okay, I don't work at this place anymore. This is a long time ago, but I'm going to try to explain to you what's happening in this picture. This is why I thought I was going to die any minute. These things were so strong, and I don't know what this thing looked like because it was moved too fast and it was like pitch black. Okay, but these things were like knocking things over, and they were so strong. They could bend things, and this thing, like, it jumped. This thing is like 10 feet tall. Okay, this was like a garage, and it jumped and it ran and it busted through this gate and it ran around the corner. It went and it happened so fast, but it was definitely demonic. Okay, it wasn't like a squirrel. Okay, it wasn't a raccoon or something. These things were busting down things. This is the only picture I have of that. Okay, it was bending things and busting things. Okay, and this window is 10 feet tall, but this thing that I'm describing wasn't very big. It was small. It looked like the size of a squirrel. Okay, except it wasn't a squirrel. Okay, it was moving very, very fast. It was pitch black. It was moving very fast, and it just busted through the back window of this garage. Okay, and that's not the only time something like that happened. This is just the only picture I have of that. Okay, and so and I was trying so hard to explain it away, to say it's just my imagination, but it's really hard to do that when you actually see this, right? Like, what do you think happened? It's just my imagination? If it's just my imagination, then you can see it at the after effects. You know what I mean? And I'm going to bring that up in a second. And this picture right here, this is not my picture, okay? This is not my picture. Okay, but I used to have a picture like that. This is from the internet, okay? But these things would, like, bend. I felt like they were trying to get into my house or something, but they would bend all the doorknobs. All the doorknobs would just start bending. That's why I thought I was going to die. These things were trying to kill me. I thought because these things are so strong, and they could easily have killed me, right? All right? And I honestly think God was protecting me, okay? Because I was really trying to figure out what in the world is going on, okay? Which is going to be my next thing, okay? Now I'm going to bring up this weird metal bending stuff, because it's freaking me out, because sometimes these psychics and witches, they say that they can do that. They say that they can bend metal and bend things. Okay? And I'm like, usually they bend spoons and stuff like that. And I'm like, there must be a weird connection there. Like, I think these demons are just using your energy to do it, though. Okay? You know what I mean? And it's just so weird, because some of these psychics, they say they became psychic they became that way after their near-death experiences. And that's what happened to me. That's why I'm connecting those dots, okay? But I didn't know that at the time, okay? But I obviously found out that it was demonic, though. It wasn't some gift. It was terrifying, okay? And now this is what this is. That's what this is right here. This is I was really freaking out. I thought I was going to die, okay? Sometimes when I would walk by cars, they would start getting dents in the cars. That's what these pictures are. They're dents. I would walk by cars, and there were dents would happen in the cars, just like the doorknobs bending. Okay, the dents would start happening in the cars when I walk by them. So this was obviously terrifying to me, because it takes a lot of energy and stuff to do that, right? And I honestly think they are using me to do it, though. You're like a battery to them. They can't do it themselves. Okay, they use you. They're parasites. Okay, so it was me kind of doing it, but it was demonic. Okay, wasn't doing it consciously. Okay, but that's what demons do. They're parasites. They use your body. They use your body's energy. Okay, even if you recognize ghost hunters, if you ever see ghost hunters, ghosts manifest, but sometimes the batteries drain, like in their electronic equipment. Okay, because they need that energy to manifest, but they don't just take it from electronics and stuff. They take it from you. Okay, that's what I think was happening anyway. Because I remember I was constantly very tired and drained all the time. I was so tired and drained all the time. Alright? And I felt very weak all the time, because I think these things it reminds me of demonic possession, because that's what demons do. They use your body to do what they want, right? But of course, from some people's perspective, they think that's magic. It's magic. You're making things bend. I'm like, bro, it was terrifying. It wasn't some magical thing from God. It was horrifying. And it took me a really long time to figure out what was going on. And God has really been helping me understand what's going on. Okay? Because I knew it was bad and evil, but I just didn't understand that it was demonic. It took me way too long to realize it was. And I kept thinking it was aliens too later, because I would see weird lights in the sky all the time. I would see weird lights. I'd see so many weird things. And I kept thinking it was aliens too later, because I would see weird lights in the sky all the time. I would see weird lights. I'd see so many weird things. And another thing is why I thought these were aliens is because these things were like super intelligent. I knew it was something very intelligent was behind it. Of course, I didn't realize it was demons until way later. Okay, but I wanted to bring up this moving things with your mind thing. I'm gonna bring up this Russian woman. Okay. Nina Kolagina, okay? She was telekinetic. That's when you can move. You claim that you can move things with your mind, and you can see video of it. You can see it. Of course, if you don't want to believe it, you're not going to want to believe it, okay? Oh, she had magnets under there. Whatever. Okay, I believe that some of these things are real. Okay. Anyway, she was telekinetic. Okay, she moved things with her mind. But this is what my point. Okay, it would take her 2 hours to build up enough energy to do it, and her pulse went up to 250 when she was doing it. Okay, and she lost 3 pounds every single time she had to perform one of these things where she made move with her mind in front of a camera. Okay, my point is, this energy was using her to do it. It was draining her to manifest this energy. Okay, and that's exactly what was happening to me. Okay, it's not why. Why would you even do that? She was almost literally killing herself just to do this. Why would you want to do that? There's no logical reason to do that. Okay, just get up and move it with your regular hand. It's free from God, a free magical power from God. Just get up, go, and move it with your hand. You didn't even have to almost die to do it either. Why make deals with the devil? Why want magical powers like this? Most of the time they're useless. Okay, she could do it, but she had to be really close to it, and it took a whole bunch of energy, and she almost died and lost 3 pounds. My point is, she was like a parasite. Okay, this energy that was manifesting was just from her anyway, and it was not doing her any good. All right, and that's exactly what was happening to me. I believe they were using me to do this. Okay, all right, and my point is, telekinesis and poltergeist activity is probably the same thing. Moving things with your mind, or demons using you to move, is the same thing. It's still evil. Okay, there's no. Okay, it's terrible. Why? It's not cool. Some people have a different perspective. They think it's amazing. They think it's a miracle from God. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm gonna bring up the Portugal miracle of the sun. That whole thing sounds so familiar, because I was under demonic attack, especially when they talked about ectoplasm falling from the sky. I'm like, that's super demonic, man. Okay, and what happened? What happened in the Portugal miracle of the sun? Those 2 kids died, right? 2 of those kids died. Yes, they died because these things were using them to manifest. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, it's demonic. It's evil. They died. They were using the people, and they even 2 kids even died because they were basically being sacrificed to make this Mary, quote unquote Mary, appear. It's demonic. Okay, it's a manifestation, parasitic manifestation. It's not from God, obviously. Please cut it out, Catholic Church. You're in such big trouble. Okay, I always point that out. Okay. And I always bring up the Catholic Church because I believe that is one of my missions. Why God even helped me in the first place is because I believe I am responsible for exposing that church, because I was raised in that church, and so I understand what happened to me with this demonic stuff. Okay, I am responsible for telling you. Okay, that is my job. I'm responsible from God to tell you about that church constantly. It's one of my responsibilities, because I was experiencing this demonic stuff for years, 4 years, 5 years, I think. Not even one person told me to stop doing all that Catholic stuff. So I have to do it all constantly, because people are very unaware about what they're supposed to do when they see demons. They think they're supposed to go get holy water from the church and all this stuff, and it's just making it worse. Okay, even if they go away, those things are just gonna be waiting for you in hell. Okay, they're just gonna be waiting for you in hell. All right. So I did learn a lot from my experiences. One thing I learned is you're not supposed to go get rosaries and holy water. Do not do that stuff. Anyway. And another thing I wanted to bring up. So why in the world was this stuff happening to me? That's another thing I had to deal with. Why was this happening to me? Why was I experiencing all this crazy demonic stuff? Okay? Because I couldn't understand. I wasn't a Satanist or something. I wasn't doing weird rituals in my house. Why in the world was this happening to me? Okay? I wasn't sacrificing no one. I wasn't doing that. I was just a regular person. Okay? That's exactly my point. Okay? This stuff is probably happening to everybody. Even though you're not experiencing supernatural stuff, it doesn't mean you're not heavily under the influence of the devil. Okay? But I'm going to tell you why. Okay? I believe it had a lot to do with the Catholic Church. I was raised in the Catholic Church. Okay? And when you do, and I went through all those ceremonies. Okay? I went to a private Catholic school, and those ceremonies you do, like the sacraments, those are ceremonies that are done through ritualistic things that are, say, they're demonic, they're satanic, okay? Like your first Holy Communion, those are actually tie-binding rituals you are doing to tie yourself to the other side, not God, okay? That didn't help, okay? Also, okay, so, and do not take your kid to go get baptized in that church. You are making contracts with the devil, okay? Those kids you're making contracts with the devil. Even in voodoo, they will tell you that. Okay? Alright? Anyway. So that didn't help. I was raised in the Catholic Church, which made everything very confusing about Jesus, too. Okay? But also, this stuff didn't help either. This is so... it's like a recipe for disaster. Of course, now that I think back, at the time, I was living in the guest house, right? And the person I used to live with in there, she used to do, she was a medical examiner, okay? Not at a morgue. No, she used to cut up and dissect bodies, not just regular bodies where very bad things happen to them. Kids and everything. Okay? And if you're not protected by God, that really bad evil energy can follow you home. That didn't help. Okay? That's one thing I think what was just like a tip of the iceberg problem that started. So my friend, she would literally come home and smell like decaying bodies sometimes. Okay? She was just kind of used to it because that was her job. Okay? And you have to be protected by God to do that stuff. Okay? You can have those jobs, but you need Jesus because you can bring things home. That didn't help. Okay. Also, and I think it was just a domino effect. It was me and it was all that stuff. Okay. I became very depressed. Okay. And then I started using drugs. And I know what people are going to say. You were just hallucinating. You were on drugs. A lot of that stuff I saw was before I was even on drugs. Okay. All right. Even after I stopped using drugs, I was still experiencing that stuff. But the drugs didn't help because when you use drugs, and I became not wanting to live anymore, very desperately so, that also brings them to your front door, okay? Which is obviously what happened. And then I died, okay? I had an OD, alright? I died, and I believe it really opened up a gateway or doorway, and I believe I went to hell, because that's where I went, alright? And it opened up a doorway to me and to that house, alright? It opened up some bad doorways, and it took a really long time, lots of sanctification from Jesus to close those doorways, okay? And another thing that happened was my friends were experiencing this stuff too, and I moved away from this guest house, and it made it even worse. It made it even worse because I'll tell you why. Because the people I was living with, I moved in with them, okay, and I moved into this room where somebody had died, okay, and they had ended their lives as well, like I almost did, alright, and I just don't think that helped, okay, someone literally died in the room that I was staying in, okay, and so that was just like another, of course, recipe for disaster, okay, and we were just experiencing so much supernatural stuff, and these things were just manifesting all over the place. Okay, and we didn't know what was going on. And even if I kept moving, it just kept getting worse. Okay, because these things just follow you. All right. And something else it's so creepy now that I think back of it. So this person so I died of an OD, right? All right, died of OD, and the person I moved into their house. Okay. The person that died in that room, he also died in the bed that I was sleeping in, which probably, I realize that now, but back then, of course they didn't probably tell me that, but I'm pretty sure it was the same bed mattress and everything. And so I was seeing it just kept getting worse and worse and worse, okay? And my supernatural experiences just skyrocketed more and more and more. it just kept getting, these things started manifesting. They became more and more real. It was pretty horrifying when when a shadow figure is just there talking to you. Well, it took about 2 years for me to actually hear them talking. Okay, because I didn't hear anything for a while, and it kept getting worse. They kept becoming more and more real in my life. Okay, and I kept seeing weird lights in the sky, spirits, all kinds of horrifying things. Okay, but my point is, and I tried everything to get rid of them. I tried Catholic stuff. I tried, I tried so many things. Sage. Okay, do not do any of that stuff. Okay, I had all my stuff blessed by a Catholic priest. That made it so much worse. Do not do that. That's what I always tell people to. They're so ridiculous. They're so lost. You need to read a Bible and you need to have a relationship with Jesus. That's the only way to get rid of these things, and that's the only way to be saved. Anyway, okay. Okay, so I want to bring up something else. Sometimes I would use rosaries, or I had all my stuff blessed by a Catholic priest, and I was using sage and dream catchers, you name it. I was using all that stuff. Okay, and something that's weird is that it temporarily seemed like it was going away or was stopping, but it would always come back. Okay, but even sometimes when I hear other people's stories, they say they think they got rid of the spirit. It never came back. Those things are just waiting for you in hell, okay? You have to pay for that later. Even if you're just making another deal with the devil, okay? If you're experiencing evil spirits and you're using rosaries and stuff, you may get rid of them temporarily. For me, it was temporarily. About a week later, they would always come back even worse, okay? All right? But you're just going to have to pay for that. You're just making another deal with the devil, okay? Because most people are so lazy, they don't realize that there's a reason why they have those evil spirits. You have to stop. You have to accept Christ and read the Bible and change your life. And people don't want to do that. They want to keep drinking and smoking and doing all their evil stuff and just get rid of evil spirits too. They don't want to change their life. They want to throw holy water on all their stuff and then go back to their sin. Right? It's lazy. It's so lazy and evil. Okay, God needs you to change your life and accept Christ if you want to be saved from these demons when you die. Okay, because if you don't, they're just gonna be. Even if you do some silly thing and they appear to be leaving you, they're still there. Okay, and they're still in your life. All right, and I'm gonna read this Bible passage because that's what this Bible passage is talking about. Then goeth he, and taketh with him 7 other spirits more wicked than himself, and they enter in and dwell there. And the last state of the man is worse than the first. Okay? So this is about you having to pay for it later. You can get rid of evil spirits, but you're going to have to pay for it later. You can get rid of evil spirits maybe using all this other pagan stuff. Okay? But you're going to have to pay for it later. Okay? It's going to be even worse than it was before. Okay, because you're just making another deal with the devil, all right? And something else I really wanted to point out is I was in a lot of torment, okay? On Earth, demons were bugging me. They're driving me crazy. And it made it so much worse because I had different bad reactions from everybody. Some people just thought it was crazy and stupid, okay, which doesn't help. And another group of people just thought it was, they thought it was so scary that they didn't want to talk to me or talk about it. All right, and all these reactions are unbalanced. Okay, some people believed me, but they didn't want to talk about it because it was scaring them too much, so they just ignored it. Okay, or some people thought it was really cool. Okay, those are 3 really bad reactions to this. Okay, it's not cool, but you also need to confront and accept what's happening. But it's pointless to say you're being stupid and you're hallucinating and it's not happening. That's all very useless people, okay? Those were very useless things that I learned from people, okay? Other people were almost just as annoying and just as horrifying as the demons were sometimes. I'm not even kidding, all right? And God, of course, all people can help you, which I eventually did find people online, and I eventually... That helped a lot. I will always say that, okay? But it was almost like I had to suffer through it and sift through all the garbage. Like, all the people saying to use sage or saying it's really cool and just accept it. You're super blessed. Or, aliens are trying to talk to you. You're really cool. You're special. No, these are all very horrifying, bad advice from people. Okay, probably the worst one is doing all this sage stuff too. It's just all bad, all useless people. Okay, and I'm not saying you can't try to save the people. You do have to save those people. But I wanted to bring up. It was pretty horrifying anyway. But that's not the same as going to hell. That is something else. That's way, way worse than anything. It's not just seeing demons and stuff like that. Hell is something else. It's so much worse than that. Okay, and I really wanted to bring that up. Okay, and I had a really hard time. It was such a bad time. Okay, but I can honestly tell you right now that I am actually thankful to God that happened to me. Okay, and I know that sounds really weird. Why in the world are you thanking God for letting demons torture you for 4 years? It's because if I hadn't gone through that, if I hadn't experienced that, I would probably have just been a regular person, just like everyone else, and one day I would have just died regularly, and I would have gone to hell, and then that would have been it. Okay? Sometimes you have to hit rock bottom to be saved, really. Okay? And unfortunately, some people just go through their whole lives thinking they're fine and stuff, and they don't experience anything. Okay, and they don't realize you're already hook, line, and sinkered to go to hell. Okay, that's probably the most important thing I could ever say to anybody. Just because you're not seeing ghosts and demons and stuff doesn't mean you're not on your way to hell already. Right? All right. Okay. Anyway, okay, that's all I think I'm gonna talk about. The video's getting long anyway. Yep. All right. So anyway, you can believe my story or not. That's another thing I had to deal with. I actually don't. Some people, they don't believe me, but they still believe, that they should read the Bible and talk to Jesus. And that's the only thing I really want you to do anyway. Even if you think I'm nuts or I'm lying, you should pick up that Bible and talk to Jesus anyway. Because me and God know I'm not lying. As long as God knows I'm not lying and I'm telling the truth, then I'm fine with it. Okay, other people don't bother me as much anymore. All I need you to do is pick up that Bible and accept Christ. That's all I really need you to do. Alright? Anyway. So please think about this stuff, guys, and thank you.